Well, hello all. Welcome back. Hey, it's an absolutely beautiful day today. It's the middle of summer. As you can see outside, it's absolutely gorgeous. And what is a better treat to have in the summertime than a frozen treat like a sorbet or ice cream? That's actually what we're gonna make today, and it's gonna be the craziest thing ever. It's gonna be 3 ingredients or less. So these little babies are gonna have to go into the freezer for at least 8 hours, and I will come back when they're frozen and we'll continue from there. In the meantime, stay tuned. If you recall yesterday, we ended up starting to make some fabulous pear sorbet. And I've had these 2 cans of sliced pears in heavy syrup in the freezer for 24 hours. So now we're going to take the next step, now that it's frozen, and we're going to continue making our 3 ingredient pear sorbet. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dip these cans in hot water for about 10 seconds so I can kind of loosen the insides. I'm going to do both sides. I don't know which side is going to come out first. Close enough to 10 seconds. And I'm going to take the top and the bottom off. But I'm going to leave one of them on so I can use it as a pusher. It may just slide right out. I don't know. We'll find out. If I've done this right, it should. That's one. Flip this over. Do the other side. That's done. Take that one off. Be careful when you do this so you don't hurt yourself. And now we should be able to just press this into a bowl. Okay, there we go. That's what we're looking for. See, handy dandy bowl. There is our frozen pear mixture. We'll do the other one. The next step is we're going to go ahead and kind of chop that up before we throw it in the blender. And I'm going to begin to chop this up. It's nice that it's somewhat frozen. It's going to be able to chop up pretty nicely. You just want chunks so it doesn't have to work so hard. But you do want to work fast because A, it's frozen. We don't want it to thaw too much. And even though we put it back in the freezer, it's gotta be a little bit slushy. This is cutting very nicely. You know, I don't know what anybody uses any fruits in heavy syrup for anymore. It's always in juice, so it's kind of nice to find. I only found one brand, good old Del Monte, that had this in my local store. Just about there. I'm excited. All right, that's chopped up. Now we'll move over to the blender and I'll show you what happens next. I'm ready to put my pears, my frozen pears, into my blender. If you don't have a blender, you can use a food processor. I'm just so pleased with this blender that I like to use it. Now this next step is optional. Where'd you go? We're going to add 3 tablespoons of pear brandy. If you don't like brandy or don't want to use it, don't worry about it. It just adds a little bit extra sophistication. It's going to be pretty tasty. So 3 tablespoons. Kind of drizzle that in there. And now we're going to puree. Mix it. Oh, it's slushy, all right. Oh, it smells good. A couple iterations. We got it to go. It is smooth. I'm gonna stir it one more time. But I'm feeling like it's totally smooth, so we can go on to the next step. Yeah, I don't feel any chunks. Okay, now that we've got it blended, we're gonna put it back in a bowl. It's almost perfect temperature for eating right now, but we're not done yet. Remember, it's 3 ingredients. Technically I have 1 more ingredient to add to this. And I might not scoop the whole thing out, just so I could have a sample. That's a good amount of sorbet for 2 cans of pears, don't you think? Now, don't get weirded out by this next step. It's going to be good. It really is. You don't have to do this, but I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground pepper. It's going to give it a very, very interesting note. And these little black flecks are going to be pretty cool too. And at this point, we're going to stick it in the freezer for a little bit so we can get it frozen just slightly more before service. But you know, I just have to have a taste. Why not? That's really good. If you don't like the black pepper idea and you want a little bit extra taste, I happen to love crystallized ginger. So very, very finely mince some crystallized ginger and toss that in before you do refreeze. Okay, I'm headed to the freezer. So here we are. After having it in the freezer for about another half hour is our perfect 3-ingredient pear sorbet.